Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of FRL here on Friday night. As you can see, today it is the Portuguese Grand Prix, round 6 of what up until now has been a fairly encapsulating season, to say the least. Last time out in Imola was quite an interesting race. Obviously, we had the two guys at the top of the championship. They were level on points. That was Yogurt and Jerome, I believe. Let's see if everybody is here. Jerome in the AlphaTauri. Santeri obviously was the first time race winner last time out in what turned out to be a fairly dominant spectator. Goodness me. What turned out to be a fairly dominant race victory for him. Let me just make sure I'm spectating so that nobody's spamming me with spectator messages. And I also need to mute everybody actually. There we go. As I was saying, what turned out to be a fairly dominant victory for him after the safety car really is what threw everything up in the air. I don't think we have actually got. Let me have a quick look at the championship standings just to recap on. There we go. It's just I'm not sure if Jerome, REL Jerome. Obviously, there's two Jerome. Yes, he is. Okay. Obviously, we've got the Jerome in the AlphaTauri, as well as REL Jerome. So sometimes you might, I wouldn't say get confused, but I might say Jerome and I could be talking about one or the other. So I'll probably just try and refer to the car that they are actually driving rather than the name itself. But Portugal should produce a better spectacle compared to Imola, because Imola, as we all know, is quite a difficult track to overtake, only one DRS zone. So I'm anticipating a much more fun and entertaining race today. Hopefully no rain. Hopefully we'll have everything dry, just so that keeps the competition good. So we'll wait and see what the weather's at for qualifying. So beautiful sunshine, as you can see. So it should be an interesting qualifying session. So as well as just carrying on from what happened last time out at Imola, obviously you do remember that there was a big collision even before turn 1 between Casizzle and T1000 Zach, who obviously managed to put his car on pole position after capitalizing on the change of weather at the end of qualifying. Obviously it was wet to dry in quali and dry to wet in the race. So it did make for interesting viewing, at least on that front. So as you watch the first couple cars coming out, I believe that is a Red Bull. No, it's actually, so it's Jerome in the Williams. So this is the current championship leader. So we'll follow him through on board. Well, to be fair, this is his outlap. Interestingly enough, he's on the medium tyres, but the game is telling me he's on the softs. So let's see if I can. There we go. And he's actually taken a shortcut there. I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that. Obviously, I'm not too sure about the rules in regards to that on outlaps, but that was a fairly massive cut there. Of course, it's not on his hot lap, so it really doesn't make a difference. But we'll follow him round anyways. So his nearest title contender, Yogurt, who actually threw away what could have actually been a race win for himself, the Ferrari man, you can see there currently in P17, obviously having not set a lap time yet. He spun out under the safety car and actually lost his front wing, and the rage that came from that meant that he ended up quitting out of the race. So we will watch the first man who should set a lap time, the current championship leader on the medium tyres. We'll follow him on board and we'll see what he can do around a very tricky Portimao circuit. Turn 1, it's not really downhill braking. You brake just before 50 meters. You kind of ride the curb on the inside a little bit, getting a little bit out of shape on the rear, but he manages to keep it in check. He has got a few cars up ahead who hopefully will dive out of the way. Ginger getting out of his way, and Simbao, and is he going to invalidate? Yes, he does. So he tried to see if he could get away with it, but unfortunately he couldn't. Maybe just picking up some dirty air from the back of that McLaren. So we'll look behind him and see who else on the lap. So we've got Champ here on the lap, F1 Champ, coming down towards the end of the first sector, 22.6. You need to use all of the curb on the right and try and, to be fair, that corner is a bit interesting in regards to hitting the apex. You don't necessarily need to hit the apex, but give or take. Now the very, very tricky, I believe turn 7, very easy to spin the rear. You can see the car goes massively light in the middle of the corner. You have to be very easy on the throttle. There's yellow flags in all sectors at the moment. We'll stay on board with Champ as he comes through the middle sector and approaches the final sector. There's a slowing McLaren up ahead. And around this final sector is interesting because you can be very, very aggressive on the brakes, probably a bit more aggressive than it looks at first glance, but you can be very, very late on the brakes and you can find time from doing so. So we'll watch F1 Champ as he comes across the start-finish straight and across the line to set the first lap time of the session. It's a 1:18.3, and Cal Scarrett beats that by 1.2 seconds. And then Jamie Morris beats that by 0.7 of a second. So the lap times are going to come in thick and fast there. I believe that's Michalizzi on an out lap. We've got, I believe, Von Zeus potentially. Yeah, it's Von Zeus coming across the line. And he's going to set his first lap on the medium tires. And he's going to go P2 in a 1:17.1. We've got a few more cars coming through the final sector. Santeri, the race winner last time out, goes top of the standings on a 1:16.3. And we've got Kasizel who's about to start his lap. So let's look down into the final sector. Who is that? Is that Simba? No, it's Sahili who's about to start his lap also. So let's see who's in the final sector currently on a lap. We've got Jerome. So Jerome obviously invalidated on his last lap. He is coming around the final 2 corners and he's going to set a lap time. So we'll see what it is and where it can put him at the moment. The man out in front, Santeri, on 1:16.3. So we'll see where this puts Jerome, and he goes P4 on the medium tires. So he's currently, as Ginger also improves and goes on a 1:16.6. Champ on his second lap, putting himself up into P5. Mercedes coming across the line. No, he actually comes into the pits. And then we've got an Alfa Romeo of Michalizzi, and he's invalidated his lap, unfortunately for him. There's a Red Bull. There's 2 Red Bulls behind. I think Michalizzi will jump into the pits. No, he won't. He's going to look to go again for another lap as a Red Bull both Red Bulls come into the pits. And Alpha Tauri also jumps into the pits, and then there's a Haas of Arnold. It looks like, where's his lap time going to put him? I think he may have invalidated, so he's not actually improved. We'll stay on board with Michalizzi, actually, who currently is yet to set a lap time. The game is saying he's on mediums, but he's not. Yellow flags once again in the final sector. There's a slow McLaren. Michalizzi using all that curb on the right hand side into the tricky braking zone, into the hairpin. Now coming into, I just need to make sure this is turn 7 because we're going to be talking about this turn a lot. Probably coming towards the end of quali and the race time, but we'll stay on board for now with Miku. Very, very tricky section. Again, here's quite interesting to see the different lines and braking zones because a lot of people, or some people, prioritize entry rather than exit speed, but you can gain a lot if your car's positioned in the right place. Michalizzi's coming around the final 2 corners on the soft tires and not the medium tires, as you can see. Obviously it's showing as medium, but that is not the case. Where is this lap going to put Michalizzi? Is he going to be in the top 10? Only 12 laps currently on the board, and Michalizzi goes P9. So let's see anybody else on a lap. Kasizel currently on a lap, so probably one of the quickest guys on this grid. He was very unfortunate last time out to get caught up in Zach's issues at the start of the last race. So let's see where he can put his Williams. With still 11 minutes to go in this session. Is he going to go fastest? Yes, he does, by 0.2 of a second. There's a good lap there from the Williams driver. We look a bit further down the field. Sahili also on a lap, so we'll see where this puts the McLaren driver. He's going to go P5 on a 1:16.7. And there's a spinner in the middle sector. It's his teammate Simbal, who may have just got in the way of one of the Mercedes or Ferrari drivers. There's an Alpha Tauri coming through the final sector. It's Jerome who's out of fuel. So Terra Racer currently on his out lap. Let's have a look at anybody else on there. Let's see if Zach is a little bit further up the track. Yeah, so Zach is not on a very quick lap. It looked like he saved some of his DRS, so he's probably going to go again. Yes, he is. So We'll stay on board with Zach at the moment. Cal Scarrett, just the corner up ahead on the track, he's also on a lap. This obviously the man that managed to put it on pole position in the last race, capitalizing on the conditions. And let me see if I can find the link. I think people will probably be asking for the link at the moment. Or not. Okay, so we'll continue with Zach, and we've got quite a few more cars currently coming out onto the track and on outlaps. So just unfortunately for him, just stepping out of bounds, and that is going to be invalid for Zach. Terror Racer still on the lap. Actually, I believe Cal Scout is a little bit okay. He's invalidated as well. So we'll go back to Terror Racer, who's currently got a 1 minute 25.7 on the board. So he will improve that. Whether or not it will be this lap, whether or not it will be this lap. Excuse me. Only a few more corners before we find out. Feels like there's been a yellow flag at some point on the track at almost every point in this qualifying session. So here comes Terror Racer as his yellows in the first sector. He's going to take the shortest route to the line, and he's actually losing some ERS there. And it's a 1 minute 17.3, so not a very good lap time for him. I believe ERT Henry's on the lap, and he's not on the mediums. I don't know why it's saying he's on the mediums, but whatever. Okay, let's see if we can change it. There we go. Oh, that's why I was on best. Okay, here we go. So we'll stay on board with the Aston Martin driver. Quite a few cars, well, one car really, between him and what will be the checkered flag. That looks fairly aggressive and clean. He short shifts up to gear 4, as you have to do to kill the traction, kill the wheel spin, and actually allow the car to kind of roll into the corner and over that, what would you call it? I don't know if you want to call it, we'll call it elevation. It is one of those types of tracks you can see there's a lot of track elevation change constantly throughout the lap. So very easy to miss your braking point and either overcook it or undercook it and lose time. Very easy to not strike a balance, or very difficult to strike a good balance. So we'll watch Henry as he comes up to the line. Whether or not he's going to improve, we'll find out very shortly. Is it going to be good enough for top spots? Yes, it is. So he goes on provisional pole. Still a very long way to go in this session. We've got Santeri, the race winner last time out, coming through the final sector, but there's a massive cluster of cars up ahead. Are they going to see and get out of the way? Fortunately, the Mercedes managed to do so, because Sizzle up ahead, he probably would have got a little bit of dirty air off the back of the Williams. Could he gain a little bit of a slipstream? He may well do so, but we'll watch him as he bombs towards the line. And is it going to be provisional pole for Santeri? Yes, it is. On the first man down into the 1 minute 15s also. He's down into the 1:15.9 as Sizzle is actually starting his lap, and he'll have a Haas up ahead, or not a Haas, an Alfa Romeo up ahead to contend with. But we'll look a little bit further back to anybody else possibly on a lap time. Jerome was on a lap and he was improving, but unfortunately he has invalidated. We've got Ron Zeus on a lap at the moment, coming through the middle sector. So we'll stay on board with him and see what he can do. I need to send a message to Nicky Litzy very quickly. Okay, so here we are. Ronzeus coming through the final few corners. Where is he going to put his Red Bull at the moment? Didn't see that middle sector time, so but we'll see as he comes across the line. Doesn't look like he's going to improve too much. He does. So 1 minute 16.7, but we will go back on board with Casizzle, who we were on board with at the start of the lap, and it looks like he's actually aborted, as he's got quite a lot of ERS left, and he's not going particularly fast. As we say, that Ginger does improve and goes up into P4 on a 1 minute 16.3. Jamie Morris about to come into the box, and Saihilu slightly down on his lap time. Let's see if he can improve coming through the final few corners. Getting a little bit out of shape mid corner. We'll wait to see if he improves and if it's good enough to get himself into the top 5. We need to find about 3/10 of a second. It looks like it may not be the case. Yeah, he doesn't improve. Khalifa currently not going faster. Champ in the pits. Mikalitsi has invalidated. So Kasizel will be the next man on a lap, and we will stay on board through his middle sector and see what he can do. Really fight in the car, fight in the rear on exit there. Let's see what he can do coming through the tricky middle sector. Missing the apex massively, and I think he knows that he lost the time there. You see, it's very, very easy to overshoot that corner. So you kind of brake, you're braking blind. You can't really see the apex of the corner when you hit the brake. So very easy to overcook it, as he has done there. And he's going to trundle his way into the pits, I believe. I don't think he'll want to go again on those soft tires, because tire wear is a little bit on the edge around this track, especially I think on the rears. I remember in a race I did here a few months ago, my teammate actually got a left rear puncture, I believe it was. Because is it left rear? I think it was the left rear puncture. Obviously just because of the amount of force that you are applying on the rear tires around this track. Very, very rear limited. Loads of corners where you can effectively destroy that left rear tire. So that will be something to look out for come race time. I believe Sahili will be on his way into the pits at the moment. Yes, he is. Where's my phone? So Simbao on a lap, currently 117.4. Is he going to invalidate? Yes, he does. It's very unfortunate because it is that easy, really. It's turn 1, very tricky braking zone, but that curb on the right spits you out. As you can see, it's done there, but Zach's hit that quite perfectly, actually, and he's managed to keep it well within bounds. Good corner. So let me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that tricky corner is turn 8. I just needed to know that. And just about keeping it in. A good apex there for Zach. He's currently probably one of 2 or one of 3 actually, as Yoga's also retired. I'm not sure how that or why that has happened, but Yoga is currently, and it's something I've actually only just noticed. I'm not too sure why. Maybe he has a quali ban for some reason, but either way, his teammate currently at the moment coming through the middle sector and looking to get a competitive lap time on the board. And he invalidates. Excuse me. So 2 minutes left to go in the session, or you can see effectively all the cars out on the track, all the contenders for pole position also out on the track. It looks like we've probably got a shootout of about 5. The championship leader currently down in P11. He'll want to get involved, and he will actually be one of the first people to do their final lap. He will have enough time for 2 laps if he wants, but we'll follow him on board and see whether or not he can actually make that happen. At the moment, not being inside the top 10, and he's actually backed off, so he's lost time in the first sector and he's backed off already, so not looking too good for the championship leader at the moment. And Jamie Morris currently in the top 5. I believe this is his first race in FRO also. He'll want to see if he can put his car at least on the front row. Only one man at the moment in the 1 minute 15s, and that is Santeri on the 15.9. So a pretty competitive lap there. It will be difficult for anybody to beat that, but we will see as we get closer and closer to the end of qualifying. Only probably about a minute and a half left. Obviously, you can't see that due to the yellow flags being waved, but we will stay on board with Jamie Morris in the Mercedes on what looks like a fairly decent lap at the moment. Short shift, getting out of shape there. Unfortunately for him, he short shifted and it sounded just about perfect, but it's not going to be on this lap. At least if he has got enough fuel, he can go again. He'll have to try and save as much ERS on his current lap with only a few corners to go. It may be difficult for him to get another lap, but let's see, as we've got Ginger also coming through the middle sector, but there's traffic up ahead and he's getting out of shape, so he would have lost quite a fair bit of time. And you can see he's backed off as well. So at the moment, everybody really struggling to get those tyres in the window that they need them to be in order to go quicker. Henry at the moment coming towards the end of the first sector, and he's up by a tenth, so he's the man looking like he can challenge Santeri the most at the moment. I'm not too sure where Santeri is on the track. Let's have a quick look, and he's invalidated, so pressure's on at the moment for the man on provisional pole to see whether or not he can pull it off. And you can see Henry got onto that curb at turn 8. You really don't want to do that. He lost the rear. He would have lost time also. And there's only 20 seconds left in the session. So this is going to be his last lap. He's going to have to make it count in this final sector if he wants to put it on pole position, and he's overcooked it. And that's the end of his session. So it seems like everybody is really folding under pressure. It looks like Santeri may have effectively an open goal at pole position, but many cars up ahead on track that could potentially stop him. I wonder if Casizzle's managed to get another lap in. Yes, he has, and he's actually improving by over a tenth and a half. So we'll stay on board with the Williams driver and see what he can do on his final lap. If he can challenge the man at the top, he's going to need to find a bit more time than that. And he sounded like he's actually come off the power a little bit there. I'm not too sure if he did or not. We'll have to wait and see. Probably on, yeah, his session's over actually. Oh, he left the session. And as we see that, we switch to Ginger, and he's actually out of the session. So it looks like it's going to be Santeri on pole. Jerome, last gasp for the championship leader. He manages to put himself into the top 4. He was P11. So fortunately for him and his title chances, he's up into 4th. Santeri, the man, improving. It looks like everybody else, nobody can touch that 1 minute 15.9. Is he even going to improve? Still only a few corners to go, and he's an Alpha Tauri up ahead on track. I'm not too sure who that is, but it looks like he's not going to get in the way too much. He may actually give him a slipstream. Yes, he is there. The Alpha Tauri boys slipstreaming each other, and he doesn't improve, but it looks like it's going to be pole position nonetheless, as nobody else is out on track and improving enough to deny Santeri of pole position here today at the Portuguese Grand Prix. So Mickey Litzy coming into the pits. He will start at the back of the grid. I believe, I don't know if the lobby's glitched. We're about to find out soon. Hopefully not, because obviously last time out we had a pretty annoying lobby glitch, which yes, we don't. Okay, wait. So as you can see there, Santeri puts it on pole by almost 0.2 of a second. So fairly dominant performance from the man who won last time out at Imola. Henry managing to get his car on the front. Well, Casizzle, he's actually left the session. I'm not too sure what has happened there. Hopefully we can get him back in, as he looks to be somebody that can challenge for the race win. The championship leader, Jerome, just about managing to get his car out or back into the top 10. He was running in P11. He's got up into the top 4, so still a potential for a podium in this race. Jamie Morrison and Mercedes rounding out the top 5. Then you've got Ginger on Zeus, Jerome, F1 champ, and Cal Scarrett. Everybody else outside the top 10 will obviously get free choice of tyres. I'm not too sure why Yoga didn't set a time. I don't know if he had a grid, a quali ban or not. But I'll just be one moment whilst the lobby loads. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure what's going on here. It's not actually letting me press anything. There we go. Okay, so let's have a look at the tyre choices. Yeah, so expectedly, everybody outside the top 10 has gone for the mediums, bar one driver, and that's G in P17. Again, I'm not too sure why Yogurt starting from the back. Quite a lot going on, as you can see down here. Not too sure what some of the drivers are doing. Unfortunately for Sizzle, his Wi-Fi died, so I don't think he will take part in this race. But yeah, I think he tried to rejoin, but I think he knows the lobby will probably glitch. It may well actually glitch anyways. Hopefully it doesn't. But Williams 3-4, it could have been a fairly strong result for them. If Casizzle can still get back into the lobby, it could still be that. We've got quite a few cars quite detached from the rest of their pack. But we'll wait to see what happens. Currently, about 18 points, I believe it is, separating the top two in the championship, that being Jerome and Yogurt, who's starting at the back. And then we have Yannick in third on 45 points, only 7 points back from Yogurt. With Santeri, obviously last time's race winner and today's pole man, only 26 points off the lead of the championship and 8 points off second. So he'll be looking to mark his place in this FRL season today with another victory at Portugal, as the cars are lining up on the grid. I do think we're going to have a fairly entertaining race here today. Definitely a lot better than Imola, obviously, with the nature of the track and the fact that you can overtake and there is quite high tyre wear. So we'll wait for the lights as yeah, is the lobby gonna glitch? Let's hope not. Give it a few seconds. Everybody's on the grid. Yeah, I was hopeful, but it looks like the lobby has glitched, unfortunately. And that's probably going to be a lobby restart.